coming, because up next we're talking about another very pertinent topic around partnership for growth. And I believe from yesterday till today, I think if there's one word that's cropping up pretty much is to do with partnerships, or for that matter, collaboration. But guess what? This is going to be a fireside chat. And I feel that whenever we have a very feisty and a very interesting topic in store, we call it the fireside chat, because we also have some amazing speakers joining in. First up, we have with us Anant Maheshwari, President, Microsoft India, who's responsible for Microsoft's overall business and presence in India, leading engagement with policymakers, customers, as well as business partners and the entire industry ecosystem. Well, joining Anant Maheshwari, our next speaker is none other than Lingraju Sawkar, who's the President, Kyndryl India. And he is someone who has been spearheading Kyndryl India while at the cusp of transformation, if I may put it in such a way, because previously he has led the transformation of IBM Global Technology Services in India and South Asia as well. And as the president of Kyndryl India prior to this, he was also assuming the role of the role of a general manager, Global Technology Services, IBM as well. And someone who comes with more than 20 years of experience in business management, global strategy, sales, and marketing experience. I believe we do have two amazing leaders joining us right now to discuss about partnership for growth and to spearhead this fireside chat to extract all the insights. We have with us Ashutosh Sinha, Senior Editor, The Economic Times. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a fireside chat. Here we go.
Thank you so much for being with us. Now it's time to take on and move on with another conversation. Kyndryl and Microsoft have established a global strategic partnership to accelerate digital transformation across industries to leverage Microsoft Azure cloud. What does it mean for the India market as the two companies try and seize the opportunity presented by the sheer scale, the massive scale of digital transformation happening in the country? And what does it mean across industries? The two gentlemen from the companies are here, Anant Maheshwari from Microsoft and Lingu Sawkar, he's from Kyndryl India. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. My first question, Anant, to you is, this is the time for partnering for growth. Everywhere you hear that conversation, the biggest brands and the smallest niche focused companies are sometimes seen joining hands to partner for growth. What kind of collaborative economy are we headed into?
Thanks for the question, Ashu, and great to be here to do this chat along with Lingu. And as you said earlier, partnerships will truly be at the heart of accelerating India's vision to be a 5 trillion economy. India is really setting the leadership benchmarks for digital on the planet. And today, we are amongst the largest digitally connected people on the planet. We have evolved to even create the largest digital identity system with Aadhaar, and we are now leading the mobile payments innovation and scale for the planet with platforms like UPI. So partnerships across the industry ecosystem will be really critical to continuing this momentum that the country has and truly enabling the decade of growth and innovation for India. Globally, we are seeing organizations really moving away from a business model based on competition to one of collaboration and cooperation. And organizations, including ours, are finding opportunities to collaborate with peers across the industry to create greater value for customers. This collaborative economy really presents an enormous opportunity for India to be a global tech and innovation hub. We are already seeing how global collaborations led by the tech sector are driving innovation from India for the world. You spoke about the strategic partnership between Kyndryl and Microsoft. It's a great example how we are working to deploy state-of-the-art solutions jointly built on the Microsoft cloud with Kyndryl that will truly accelerate the hybrid cloud adoption, modernize the applications, and truly enable modern work experiences for customers. I couldn't be more excited about this partnership. We also have an equally big opportunity to create meaningful partnerships and drive innovation from India for India. So a lot of the work that we do with Kyndryl will also show up in the country. Similarly, partnerships between enterprises, the public sector, the startups, the MSMEs in India will be really key to accelerating innovation and job creation for millions across the country. So we have, as Microsoft, entered into several strategic partnerships with government and several Indian businesses to innovate for local requirements. And we're closely working with the government and the public sector to modernize core sectors like healthcare, agriculture, and education. Our tech stack and the comprehensive solution are really powering several national citizen service platforms. And our announced partnership with Jio is really aimed at empowering millions of SMBs in India. So we really work with a network of 14,000 partner companies in our go-to-market who are really innovating for all the 340,000 customers we serve in India. In a nutshell, partnerships are not a nice to do, but critical to drive the tech innovation that's leading the transformation around the world.
I like the word, the way you put it as critical. So Lingu, Kyndryl is already working with a large number of companies in India. So what is its approach towards partnership in India so that while it can reach out to the biggest businesses, the smaller ones, the smaller businesses can also ride with it, with the opportunities that are being created?
I think, Ashu, that's a very interesting question from where we're coming from. As you know, as Kyndryl spun off as a separate company on November the 4th, auspicious day of Diwali, and exactly at the Muhurat trading time, we launched ourselves. But I think the core part is from where we start with as being a leader in managed services space and having almost about 75 of the Fortune 100 companies across the globe, as well as a large customer base. But the opportunity to look ahead, coming out from IBM into a new world, is all about partnerships. Through these partnerships, our total addressable market actually doubles, which also means that to the customers that we serve today, we have a greater opportunity to take newer capabilities to them through these partnerships. So very clearly from clients in India, which we're very more focused on right now in this discussion, I think if you look at it, 2 out of 3 telecom companies, 4 out of 5 cars on the road, the banking online transactions, all of that is powered and managed by Kyndryl. Now, the power of now bringing the partnership of Microsoft and Kyndryl together to accelerate the digital transformation of these clients has huge potential opportunities. And in a way, if you look at it as Anant was pointing out about digital transformation, I think India has been a very unique market where I would say it's had the opportunity to leapfrog technologies and hence has been able to grab the newer ones much sooner. Like, we didn't have mainframes, we went straight to client server. We went from, we didn't go for custom applications, we went for packaged applications. And then came the power of mobile, which basically enabled the technology to get pushed faster and sooner out there. Now comes cloud, right? So with cloud and with the whole capabilities that are there together, the opportunity is really very huge for the industry and more so for clients where we really can help them get to the next level of digital transformation. I think it's really a great opportunity ahead for us.
Okay. So Anant, the core technology and services around technology is now at the heart of most scalable innovations that we look at in businesses. What will make it possible for that scale to be taken to more and more of small businesses? That's where the real scale up happens.
Totally correct, Ashu. Today, every business is a digital business. And every business will need to invest in not only adopting technology, but truly building their unique digital capability. We call this tech intensity. This really is when a large enterprise or an SMB operating from a small town in India or a government or a public sector company, it's really the next decade of growth for every company that will be driven by its tech intensity. So the pandemic over the last 2 years has really accelerated 2 mega trends that will be critical for enabling growth, innovation, and resilience at scale for companies of all types. The first is investing in cloud-led data and AI capabilities. Across every industry and sector, cloud, data, and AI are really helping companies transform and be future ready. So if I take some examples, healthcare, as we all know, is really moving to telehealth, relying on new capabilities like AI-assisted bots, and now really coming with virtual reality to even health surgeries. Banking has changed completely. We are seeing more and more new capabilities in fintech, totally coming together. Great innovation. In manufacturing, companies are really automating and simulating everything with digital twins. It could be plants, it could be supply chains, and a lot of planning. Education and edtech, as we all know around us, has completely been revolutionized. And then now we're also seeing the public sector rapidly modernizing their tech architecture using cloud, data, and AI. So today, moving to the cloud is not just an IT infrastructure decision, it's truly a board level business critical decision. And we are seeing India adopt a cloud first approach. The stats speak for themselves. So if you just look at the India public cloud market, it's expected to reach nearly $10.8 billion by 2025, growing at roughly 24% in the 5 years from 20 to 25. The end user spending on the public cloud services is really forecasted to grow by 30% in just 2022. So it's a fourth straight year of double-digit growth. And therefore, we are also reacting to this and anticipating even higher demand in the future. We announced our fourth data center region in India to support the cloud-led innovation that we are seeing from the country. So that's the first trend, and I'm picking on what Lingu said earlier around cloud. Let me add the second trend that, again, I'm sure Lingu will also resonate with. It's really investing in trusted tech with security. So cybersecurity is the biggest threat to digital transformation and to the planet today. Cybercrime costs economies more than $6 trillion each year today, and that's expected to increase to nearly $10 trillion by 2025. As industries scale, organizations will really need to invest in cybersecurity and trusted tech by design. That is built for privacy, security, AI ethics, and the internet safety. So it's important to remember, and like all of us, people will only use technology that they trust. And that's why, at least at Microsoft, we believe in responsible tech, in really asking the tough questions, like not what tech can do, but what it should do.
Interesting. Digital trust is what is critical for businesses, just taking that point of yours. So Lingu, the workplace is also changing the way it has changed in the last 24 months or so. Emergence of the hybrid model and, the advanced digital technologies. For Kyndryl's business in India, what has this opportunity meant and the way you could make an impact?
I think, Ashu, if you were to look at it, right, the changing concept of the workplace, especially in the last 2 years, I would say that digital acceleration that's happened in the last 2 years and what's going to happen in the next few years is far more than what happened in the last 100 years of industrial revolution. So and that time was very less for us. So given that as a theme of moving forward, there's digital driving every part of it. And let me just pick one specific nuances of where we see this change coming in. Previously, it was tech built for outside India being brought inside here. But now, as Anant pointed out, the SMEs and the startups across, tech is getting built for India, because India gives you a couple of very great opportunities. One is the complexity, scale, and also the constraints under which you develop and build stuff here. So stuff that you build and manage out here can really get replicated to the rest of the globe. So lots of companies, Kyndryl included, we are developing first of a kind technologies, working with partnerships and building solutions here. And when I talk of complications and things, take an example of milk delivery, right? I don't think many countries have the concept of milk delivering every day at 6 a.m. at your house, at your doorstep, right? Doesn't happen. Most go and buy from a supermarket, but here the technology that goes behind it, like some of our customers like Mother Dairy or Amul, there's a lot of tech work that goes behind to ensure milk gets delivered day in and day out at that time at the booth, and then the analysis that goes behind it on the product mix and so on. So that's a simple tech example. Having said that, with telecom industry's revolution, where it's really brought down the cost of data, and then with the strong cloud capabilities like what Microsoft and others bring to the table, has really empowered and given scale to the ideas that really come out of the world. So in a way, I think combination of combination of telecom, combination of cloud, and combination of the market itself has really spurned a lot of innovation, and that's giving great opportunities for organizations to really go ahead. Again, when you look at it from a perspective of industries, right? Wave one of industry transformation was like when you look at telecom, it was about telecom getting the customer acquisition model and so on. But now it's about network clouds, so that you're able to now customize your capabilities to customers. With automotive sector, it was getting SAP going, but now it's about connected cars and the services around connected cars and digital across. Likewise for banking, from core banking to now it's about digital banking, online alternates, analytics, all of that. So that shift of thing has really happened to us in the last 10 years, whereas it took a long time for other countries to catch up with. So I think it's a very exciting time in India for the workplace, given the pace, speed, and rate of transformation as an opportunity that lies for all of us ahead.
I'm just reminded of centralize the problems, distribute the ease for that experience economy. Okay, let's take the next question. Anant, more than ever before, after the pandemic, and you referred to it very briefly, businesses and governments need to work very closely together. That need for sustainable business is knocking at our doors. How should that be woven into the agenda for businesses so that companies never lose sight of the larger goal, the community that they serve?
So sustainability is really an existential challenge for the planet, and maybe amongst the biggest in all of our lifetimes. It's really addressing a problem of this scale. It will really need very strong collaboration between different stakeholders, not just governments and businesses, but also civil society really coming together to do everything possible. I think in the next few years, digital capability building around sustainability will be as critical and omnipresent as we spoke about security in everything that we do. So it's really that critical for all of us. Customers, investors, legislators, and employees are increasingly asking organizations for stronger commitments and greater accountability on their carbon reduction efforts. So we are really bringing together capabilities across our cloud and creating an entirely new business process to help every organization address this need. The Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability is designed to help accelerate each stage of their sustainable journey and understand their carbon emissions, set sustainability goals, and take measurable action. Our own, Microsoft's own sustainability strategy focuses on 4 areas: carbon, water, waste, and the ecosystems. And the approach is really to minimize the negative impacts of our operations and maximize the positive impacts of the technology. So we set our first carbon emission targets goals way back in 2009, committed to becoming carbon neutral in 2012, and have continued that journey. Over the past year, we announced a series of commitments to be carbon negative, water positive, and zero waste by 2030, and to develop a new planetary computer to better monitor and manage the world's ecosystems. We've also announced a $1 billion climate innovation fund to accelerate the global development of carbon reduction, capture, and the removal tech. So what we've realized is that this is not going to be a linear journey. We really need to take an ecosystem approach, and we need to be much more aggressive as a collective as we drive this. I truly believe it's among the biggest agenda items for most corporate boards going forward.
That's something that everyone has to keep an eye on. Lingu, another issue about or another question about the partnerships that are driving the innovation practice for Kyndryl in India. Can you share some details about the scale at which it's happening and the focus areas for you?
Sure. I think, Ashu, as I pointed out early, for Kyndryl, the market opportunity actually doubles because of the partnerships and the work that we do and where we go to. So when we look at partnerships, there are very key partnerships that we've got. Microsoft is one of the key partnerships in the hyperscaler world. We've got partnerships with Nokia for 5G network and edge cloud. We've got with SAP, with VMware, and a lot more to come in as we go through. That sort of basically ensures that you are meeting clients where they are and taking them the journey where they want to go through these partnerships, because you're present in the environment, you understand the complexity, you understand the aspirations of the company, but more importantly, I think in terms of how we take these partnerships as well, I think we are organized around practices, and within that we take it through certain areas. For example, on the data modernization and governance, which is one of the key things that Anant also alluded to on data, right? Then the whole AI-driven innovation, which basically helps industries to get to monetizing what data they've got. Then, of course, protecting them from all the things that's happening around, which is cyber resiliency and cyber security, so that as you accelerate on these journeys forward, you've got to constantly keep protecting yourself and recovering clients across. And then, of course, managing their mission critical workloads on the cloud. So these are broadly 4 or 5 areas on how we work with clients. So we lead that with our advisory and implementation services in partnerships, and then we help manage on the hybrid environment. So along with that, we have made investments significantly in these partnerships. Like for example, with Microsoft, globally we've set up a common university. There's a Microsoft Kyndryl University that's being set up for skilling and upskilling. There's a global center of excellence being set up on cloud. A significant part of it is in India, because we believe that a lot of innovation that happens out of India on a first of a kind basis can get scaled up. So this is how we look at the partnership landscape, and very specifically all around the practices that we have built across and taking it together. Ashu.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thanks for taking out the time for this conversation. There seems to be exciting times, for India. Startups are also the hottest. Some of these ideas, some of these startups will need to be taken global. Thanks indeed for being with us.